Not since the beginning of time has the United States known terror like this.
That caravan, and you look largely very, big percentage of men, young, strong, a lot of bad people in there, people that are in gangs.
The Caravan, a slow-walking horde hell-bent on a better life. Anyone could be in the Caravan.
Girl from the Ring who went to law school.
We know that nearly 4,000 known or suspected terrorists come into our country illegally.
Men, young, strong, bad people, lots of bad people, gangs.
And we know that our most vulnerable point of entry is at our southern border.
Middle Easterners, robot gorillas, filmed in fearmonger vision.
By direction of the President of the United States.
We don't want them in this country.
Stay in your homes because they'll hit you with sticks like a piñata.
I know this statistic. I didn't know if you were going to use it, but I studied up on this. Do you know where those 4,000 people come, or where they're captured? Airports.
Not always, but certainly a large number.
The State Department says there hasn't been any terrorists that they found coming across the southern border from Mexico.
It's by air, it's by land, and it's by sea. It's all of the above.
They're coming by air and land and sea and outer space. Hell, the Skrulls can disguise themselves as anything, even old ladies, but Captain Marvel's here to kick some ass. And look how young Sam Jackson is. What were we talking about?
The Caravan. Coming soon, but we can't say exactly when. They're walking and they're pretty tired.
Hundreds of thousands of foreign nationals streaming in, jobless, penniless, anonymous. What happened next? You know what happened next. The most predictable disaster in the world. Crime skyrocketed. Social cohesion collapsed. Imagine if that was your city where you work and raised your family, the city that you built. And then one day some guy gets elected and decides to destroy it, and the media ignore it. No one even covers it. Most Americans have no idea your city has been destroyed.
In 2008, a family fled from Germany to Tennessee after they were fined for homeschooling their kids in Germany. 5 years later, their asylum claim was denied, claiming they weren't persecuted.
We're being invaded.
The invasion of illegal immigrants.
I want to talk about all these people who come to our country and pretend that they need asylum.
You're wondering where two fringe lunatics could latch onto the same racist conspiracy theory. I'll give you a hint. It's Fox News.
Highly organized, very elaborate, sophisticated operation. I have that from the highest levels of the Guatemalan government. They're investigating those groups criminally. And I strongly urge President Trump and Attorney General Sessions to do the same here. A lot of these folks also have affiliates who are getting money from the Soros-occupied State Department, and that is a very great concern.
Democrats who want to replace you, the American voters, with newly amnestied citizens.
This is a government-sanctioned invasion of our country.
This is going to encourage a flood of new illegal immigrants to try their luck using the refugee excuse.
Since the time of the Great Famine, they'd come streaming off the boats. And they got a right warm welcome.
Go back to Ireland, you dumb mitt! You remember that? Get back in the booth, Patty! You will not replace us.
Then, an ominous harbinger of things to come.
Jews will not replace us!
Top story tonight. The caravan of mostly Central American immigrants is now in the Mexican city of Oaxaca tonight.
Beauty, abundance, joy. It's all here in the Mexican city of Oaxaca. Get lost on Oaxaca's pristine beaches.
America is a welcoming country, and under my leadership, it's a welcoming country.
Good plan, Mr. President. Warm up the crowd with a joke.
Or in the beauty of the Cathedral of San Lorenzo. Spend a day at the street market of Yalbar, or gaze at the majesty of Mount Blor.
We do a very good job considering the laws are so bad. They're not archaic, They're incompetent. It's not that they're old. They're just bad.
Dance to the rhythms of signature music, salsa.
Unlike you, who is both old and bad.
A place so beautiful, there is literally no way it could be real. Only a 40-minute flight from Southern California.
But this is a perilous situation, and it threatens to become even more hazardous as our economy gets better and better.
Wait, are things hazardous, or are they getting better and better? Yes, things are getting so bad because things are going so well. As I always say, make America great again, which will be terrible.
Jews will not replace us! Universities, the torch-wielding white nationalists coming face-to-face.
A demonstration by white nationalists at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville.
White lives matter!
From my perspective, he is not welcome here. He should not come here while we are in mourning.
It really speaks to your leadership when a town in mourning after an unspeakable tragedy thinks you would bring the mood down.
White lives matter! White lives matter! White lives matter!
What you had in Charlottesville was these alt-right people, many of them marching in Trump's name. We could see them marching with torches, and it looked like something out of Nazi Germany.
I would encourage the president's staff members to have him do a little self-reflection.
Oh, I think he does plenty of self-reflection. Morning, handsome. Looking fleshy today. Hey, who's got two thumbs and is ready to demonize some immigrants? This guy. Aha, whoa.
The America that we know and love doesn't exist anymore. Massive demographic changes have been foisted upon the American people. And they're changes that none of us ever voted for, and most of us don't like.
That the El Paso shooting suspect's manifesto echoes Trump's language. That is upsetting. To call what Trump speaks a language.
They are attempting to replace us with citizens that they think, that are future citizens, that they think would be more amenable to voting for them.
And he still owes the city more than $470,000. Look, it is too soon after this horrible tragedy to talk about things like gun control or the money I owe you.
They never heard of the phrase before. They don't believe in the phrase. But they're given a little legal statement to read. And they read it. And now all of a sudden they're supposed to qualify.
My God, could you believe someone telling a federal official a phrase they didn't believe in?
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That guy should be deported. You've got to get that guy out of this country. I don't know who that guy was. Out. Out, amigo. Honesty.
Invasion of our country. We had all these miners from Central America flooding the border.
Multiculturalism isn't real. This is really destroying one culture and replacing it with the new foreign culture.
This is not migrants coming into the country. This is nothing short of an invasion.
Just streaming across. This is a flat-out invasion.
You have a group of people that are invading the U.S. border.
The illegal invasion at our southern border.
That's an invasion.
I, for one, refuse to politicize me not wanting to pay you back. Sure, it's the VIG that gets you. Donnie T's in deep to the juice man. I'd say the two guys are going to come break his kneecaps, but I'm not sure there's any more bone left in there. At this point, I think it's just meat and mascarpone cheese down there.
Now, everybody has a right to claim asylum. But if you do that, you have to go before a judge. And the judge rules on whether or not your asylum case is valid. And if it's not, you have to get your ass back home.
El Paso claims it sent Trump multiple invoices since the event and even sent him a letter. We are contacting you regarding the past due invoices listed above. We realize this may be an oversight on your part.
Nope. But they were told their stay was indefinite. Now, after 15 years of making the United States their beloved home, they are facing deportation. Uva and Hannelore Ramke join us along with Kevin Bowden, an attorney with the U.S. Home School Legal Defense Association. Thank you all for being here. Uva, let me start with you. It is an invasion.
This is an invasion. is terrifying.
And I'm going to call it an invasion, like it or not. Jason, thank you for joining us, sir.
I'm not against the immigrants. I'm just for Americans, and nobody cares about them. It's like, shut up, you're dying, we're going to replace you.
Democrats who want to replace you, the American voters, with newly amnestied citizens.
Most of these people, we have no idea how they got there, why they got there, and the number is actually going to be a much larger number as we look at all of the data. So if you look at just at a minimal number, it's the size of Vermont or bigger.
Or smaller, or have nothing to do with Vermont at all, and that's pretty scary. What state are they the size of? I don't know. Could it be yours?
Now, Fox News has fought this fight for years.
When you have over 110,000 people coming a month, over 1 million last year, and then well over 1 million this year, if you use the term as an invasion, that's not anti-Hispanic, it's a fact.
You claimed asylum because homeschooling is illegal in Germany, correct? And you've been homeschooling here in the United States ever since.
That's correct, yes. And we were actually granted asylum first by the immigration judge here in the United States.
Trump, MAGA, Fox News, it's all the same theme. There are caravans of MS-13 coming to kill your children.
Anybody throwing stones, rocks, we will consider that a firearm.
Yes, a firearm. What do you think AR-15 stands for? A-Rock 15. And I'm being told NRA now stands for the National Rock Association.
Neo-Nazis and white nationalist protesters were forming, protesting plans to remove a statue of Robert E. Lee. Former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke praised President Trump.
We are determined to take our country back. We're going to fulfill the promises of Donald Trump. That's what we believed in. That's why we voted for Donald Trump.
If you were to assemble a list, a hierarchy of concerns, of problems this country faces, where would white supremacy be on the list? Right up there with Russia, probably. It's actually not a real problem in America. White supremacy, that's the problem. This is a hoax. Just like the Russia hoax. It's a conspiracy theory used to divide the country and keep a hold on power. That's exactly what's going on.
Torrents of favors and withering abuse on every single person who steps off those boats.
If only I had the guns, Mr. Tweed, I'd shoot each and every one of them before they set foot on American soil.
We will consider that the maximum that we can consider that. When they throw rocks like they did at the Mexico military and police, I say, consider it a rifle.
Oh, for the record, paper no longer beats rock. Just be careful. Be careful, please.
Women don't want them in our country. Women want security. Men don't want them in our country, but the women do not want them.
Leave me, because I am the embodiment of what women do not want.
And you and Hannelore, you made home in Tennessee. You've thrown roots down there.
And they're not from Mexico or even El Salvador and Guatemala. They're from, as you just heard, Colombia, Peru, the Dominican Republic, an island. These are countries thousands of miles away, to which we owe nothing.
Republicans want strong borders. A vote for Democrats is a vote to liquidate America's borders.
Don't believe me? Look at our east and west borders. They're already totally liquid. It's happening. Okay? It's getting higher, too.
And the Democrats want to continue giving automatic birthright citizenship to every child born to an illegal alien, even if they've been on our soil for only a matter of seconds.
Building of our country right there, Mr. Cutting. Americans are borning.
I don't see no Americans. I see trespassers. Irish hops do a job for a nickel what a nigger does for a dime and a white man used to get a quarter for.
Does Trump believe in a 5-second rule for babies?
Look, I'm telling you, if you scoop them up fast enough, they're still Mexicans, okay?
Tucker's gone. Rupert isn't. And Fox is still poison for your brand.
White, purple-haired, uglified women.
You're gross. How did you know they were illegal?
You can tell.
Peddling lies, conspiracies, hatred, and violence.
Justice or they'll burn it down. Well, at least they have rhythm.
Now you're going for the kill shot.
That guy's a pussy. That thrill just went down my leg.
Boom! He is
dead!
If your brand advertises on Fox, you're paying for it.
They're going to show up for me because nobody's done more for Christians or evangelicals or, frankly, religion than I have.
It's true. No, it's true. Nobody's done more for religion than I have, especially Christianity. Well, maybe this one guy a long time ago.
But because Texas isn't securing the border, the rest of the country is also overrun with people from foreign countries who have no right to be here and whose identity we don't know. At exactly the moment, we do not need a larger population.
What have they done? Name one thing they've contributed. Votes. Votes, you say. They vote how the Archbishop tells them, and who tells the Archbishop? Their king in the pointy hat, what sits on his throne in Rome.
Bill's got mixed feelings as regards the Irish.
Bill, deliver these good and fervent folk to the polls on a regular basis, and there'll be a handsome price for each vote goes Tammany's way.
My father gave his life making this country what it is. Murdered by the British with all of his men on the 25th of July, Anno Domini 1814. You think I'm gonna help you befoul his legacy? By giving this country over to them what's had no hand in the fighting for it? Why, because they come off a boat crawling with lice and begging you for soup?
You're a great one for the fighting, Bill, I know. But you can't fight forever.
I can go down doing it.
And you will.
What did you say?
I said you're turning your back on the future.
Not our future.
I think his name was Jesus. We're gonna stop him. We're stopping him at the border because he's traveling with a caravan of 12 strong young men. And I hear there's a lot of Middle Easterners mixed in there.
And the argument is that they falsely acclaimed asylum, and now they stay forever.
Birthright citizenship. For those of you who don't know, it's a complicated constitutional concept. It says that if you're born here, you're an American. I guess it's not as complicated as I thought. That's the...
You can definitely do it with an act of Congress, but now they're saying I can do it just with an executive order. Now, how ridiculous. We're the only country in the world where a person comes in, has a baby, and the baby is essentially a citizen of the United States for 85 years with all of those benefits.
Wrong, 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 and what? Executive order has more legal authority than the 14th Amendment. What do you call a man, a leader of a country, who thinks that what he dictates is more important than the Constitution? He's
a long way from our southern border. This is the biggest story in recent American history. A total change in the American population. Millions and millions and millions of new people.
Congress can't change it. No one is saying you can do it with an executive order. 33 other countries have birthright citizenship, and I'm going to say 85 years is pretty optimistic.
The country will never be what it was 5 years ago. Even if you're for this, you would acknowledge this is a big deal, and it's completely ignored by the media, except when they are forced to respond and they tell you to shut up and stop complaining.
Fox News host and first draft of Megyn Kelly, Laura Ingraham.
When you look at that caravan and you look of largely very, big percentage of men, young, strong.
These men are young, strong. I'm talking a virile herd of hot, young, spicy beefcakes sweating their way toward our sensitive southern ports of entry.
And when did this notice come that your family is going to be deported?
This month on the 6th, we were there in Knoxville at the office, and yes, and then we got this notification, the order for removal.
So on one side of the river, you had a high-functioning civilization, ours, and on the other side, you had the third world.
These oiled up Latino meat slabs are coming here. They're coming here to steal our Magic Mike jobs. I'm on to you, Magic Miguel, okay?
This is terrifying, chaotic, impoverished, dangerous.
We're talking washboard abs, con carne, and asses so firm you can bounce a peso off of it and get back 2.50 centavos, okay?
Talk about the border wall, you talk about open borders. I don't think I've ever heard President Biden say, we have an open border, come on over. But the people I have heard say it are you, are former President Trump, or Ron DeSantis. That message reverberates in Mexico and beyond. So they do get the message that it is an open border, and smugglers use all those kinds of statements.
Hot, ripped bodies fresh off the meat racks of Cancun.
You do fervently wish, say, 25,000 Haitians would move to Martha Raddatz's neighborhood tonight. Maybe she'd give different coverage.
Most cunning part, these healthy young men, these strong young men, are also incredibly sick.
Coming in with diseases such as smallpox and leprosy and TB that are going to infect our people.
Steve Bannon's homeless younger brother has a point.
So what are we going to do about these people who claim asylum and then are denied and yet try to stay forever?
These immigrants are so dangerous. They're so dangerous. They're so dangerous they could give us diseases that don't even exist anymore. Like smallpox, which was eradicated in 1980. Scrivener's grout, the King's dropsy, Cooper's droop, and donkey foot renderplast.
I think my voters are in Ohio reasonable, and we're a slightly lean Republican state now. I don't hear a lot about immigration from voters except people on the far right that always want to gain political advantage by talking about it.
To combat one of the things he wants you to be afraid of, Trump has announced a plan to deploy 5,200 troops to the southern border. The Pentagon has a powerful name for this mission, Operation Faithful Patriot, which beat out their second choice, Operation Loyal Eagle Freedom Boner. Thank you. Thank you.
It's amazing. That's Sherrod Brown, supposed populist from Ohio, a guy who cares about the little guy and displaced factory workers and those 7 million working-age American men who aren't working and are playing video games and watching porn all day. That's your country.
Former Trump ambassador to the UN and person who quit too late to escape history's judgment, Nikki Haley, tweeted, I have struggled with what happened in Pittsburgh because it's so similar to what happened in Charleston. The country was very racially divided at the time. We didn't once blame President Obama.
Does Sherrod Brown care? What does Martha Raddatz think of this? Again, let's hope every one of these people winds up in their neighborhood.
It's true. Trump may have inspired deranged people by tweeting xenophobic conspiracy theories. But to be fair, Obama carelessly inflamed racial tensions when he tweeted, reminder, I'm black.
Because that's what's happening here.
So Kevin, help me out here. We're seeing record numbers of illegals race across our southern border, most of which are loosely claiming some sort of a need for asylum. Yet your clients clearly, because of their beliefs, want to homeschool in a country that allows it, and Germany does not.
I think you're all going to lose a lot of money. I hate to say that. I think you're going to lose a lot of money.
I believe that's called extortion.
With oily rags, and my son Eric loves to play with matches. Okay?
Oddly, the Fox narrative for these people seems to be a little different. Now, I wonder why that is.
Down the tubes. So, you know, just one of those things, right? I don't know if I feel happy about that or sad. I've never figured that out.
I never knew if I felt happy or sad or if I had any feelings, really. The only ones I've ever been sure of are anger and arousal, usually at the same things.
How to square that circle for me?
Well, thanks, B. Thanks for having me. What I can say is the Romica family has entered the country lawfully. They've been here lawfully for 15 years.
Yes.
They want to stay here lawfully, and there's a way to make that happen.
Now, why would this couple and their kids, who have been denied asylum, get a different story on Fox News than the one you hear on Fox every day?
Birthright citizenship is a very, very important subject. In my opinion, it's much less complex than people think.
I think it says it very loud and clear in the Constitution that you don't have to go through the process of whatever they're talking about.
He's right there. The Constitution is loud and clear. 14th Amendment, Section 2. All persons born in the United States don't have to go through the process of whatever we're talking about.
So this is not a case other than a family following the rule of law, which is what we have in the United States, as you well know, and wanting to continue to follow the rule of law to stay here.
So-called birthright citizenship, which costs our country billions of dollars and is very unfair to our citizens, will be ended one way or the other.
Ended one way or the other? Is he threatening babies?
Look, I am sending the military to delivery rooms to stop these little invaders from crossing their mother's southern borders, okay?
Why is it that this particular special interest group gets a pass?
A mandarin duck mysteriously appeared in Central Park, even though it's usually only found in China and Japan. It's clear why the duck is here. She's going to lay her eggs on American soil so she can have anchor ducklings.
And so the Biden administration can make that happen. The agencies can make it happen, and we're asking them to simply do just that.
Uva, why you guys? Why were you chosen for deportation at this point? What are they telling you?
Well, the thing is, they did not tell us anything. We don't really know why. We wonder that ourselves because we cannot understand.
The dire threat shambling 1,000 miles away from our southern border. This morning, he tweeted,
"The caravans are made up of some very tough fighters and people."
Fighters and people? Does that mean some of the fighters aren't people? What are they? Are they werewolves? Are they chupacabras? Are they Stephen Miller? What are they?
They've been denied. They're here illegally.
Our military is being mobilized at the southern border. Many more troops coming. We will not let these caravans, which are also made up of some very bad thugs and gang members.
Hannelore, if you were returned to Germany and you wanted to continue to homeschool, what would happen?
And the laws there hadn't changed, and so we would face the same persecution as we did back then.
Into the U.S., our border is sacred, must come in legally. Turn around.
He yelled, turn around. Does he think the folks in the caravan are reading his tweets? Hold up, everybody, hold up.
Being found that you're illegally schooling your kids is not persecution.
President of the United States says we got to turn around. Well, it was worth a shot. Back to the death squads, everybody. Let's go. Come on, let's arriba.
So homeschooling is totally illegal in Germany? You can't do it?
Yes, it is illegal.
It is illegal. How does that not qualify as an asylum claim?
I don't know how to... Yeah, we gotta go. I don't know how to tell you in Spanish. I'm Middle Eastern.
These people need to go back to where the fuck they came from.
Kevin, as their attorney, I mean, how can you fight this at this point?
Being homeschoolers, you know, the Obama administration appealed that to the Board of Immigration Appeals. That appeal court agreed with them, as did the Sixth Circuit, and the Supreme Court denied it. So,
Mattis expected to sign deployment orders as soon as today to send at least 800 U.S. troops to the U.S.-Mexico border. Their mission, according to administration officials, is to assist Border Patrol authorities in preventing that caravan of migrants from Central America from entering the United States.
Isn't that what Fox says every day? That they're staying illegally?
Troops, our commander-in-chief has ordered us to stop the caravan from entering our border. I'm sure you all join the Army to do what's right and defend your country.
you know, we agree with you. We think this is, in fact, an asylum case. We do think they have a well-founded fear. As we testified, you know, our organization testified to that back when this was ongoing before the trial court. And I mean, I can tell you today, I talked to families today that have fear in Germany. And, you know, the fight there, the persecution there is very real, as it is, you know, today as it was 15 years ago.
Well, this is not it. 30 years from now, when you're sitting by your fireside with your grandson on your knee, and he asks, what did you do when Donald Trump was president?
Now, our immigration system's so fucked up that it took our system 15 years to get these people through the damn, their system, because that's how long it fucking takes, because Republicans refuse to add more judges to get these fucking people kicked back out of the country.
Take a deep breath, look into his eyes, and lie your ass off.
Where else would they get that kind of footage? You know, they love that shit.
Well, Uva and Hannelore, I hope you keep us posted. I mean, we're pulling for you. You've clearly got a real good attorney here. We wish you the best in this fight.
Take a deep breath, look into his eyes, and lie your ass off.
But when push comes to shove, it's not about the rule of law. It's not about our borders. It's about brown people.
And you came here the right way. You want to stay here for the right reasons. Our government should have your back in that process. So please do keep us posted. God bless you. Thanks for being here.
Why is it that these people have a completely different narrative? There are people in South America who ran away from rape and murder and kidnappings and civil war. And Republicans say that's not a valid reason for asylum.
Tell him anything. You had bone spurs, you deserted, put on a dress like Klinger. Anything's more honorable. All right, you sons of bitches, let's move. But take your time. They're not going to be here for a while. They're walking from Honduras.
But oh, how the narrative is different when they're white and German.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
By the
you,
way,
Pete.
thank you, Kevin. We reached out to ICE, the ones that are not deporting lots of illegals that are coming here, for a statement and have not heard back yet.
It's funny to me how different the shoe fits when it's on the other foot. I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. Y'all take it easy.
Mr. President, Mrs. Obama, distinguished members of the press, and Bon Jovi. You got to meet Zachariah. He's great. Yes, it's an honor to share this stage with the president. When you think about it, the president and I are a lot alike. We both went to Harvard, we both have 2 children, and we both told Joe Biden we didn't have extra tickets for tonight's event.